Happy Hump Day, everybody, and welcome back to Brown Bag Bets. Powered by BETSPERTS, we are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Andy Molitor. And as will be kind of the plan for the next couple of weeks here, it's Hump Day with Fallica. We're going to talk a little golf, maybe some tennis, even a little football. How are we doing, Mr. Fallica?
We're good. I was joking with producer Dan yesterday that we were on for today as long as he gets Swiatek. It advanced last night, or else I was going to check back on the roof. I felt like an extended member of the Swiatek family with the amount I had at stake with her to win her quarter, reach the final, name the finalists again with her and Bar. Yeah, it was it was a more of a sweat than I hoped it would be. But once we got that second break in the third set, we were able to exhale a bit. So we'll see if she can run it back one more time tonight against Danielle Collins. The good thing now is I can basically name my profit. So she got all I really needed her to do was to get here to ensure myself a pretty good day. So we're there. And the interesting thing is the other match tonight. I think a lot of people are going to give Collins a big chance in that match today just because of Swiatek playing the later match, 3 sets in the middle of the heat. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if Maddie Keys gave Ash Barty a little bit more of a run than some people might think. I mean, I saw the game total at 19 and a half, and 6-4, 6-4 is it's a winner. If you go over 19 and a half, I know Ash has been broken once in the tournament, but Maddie has a potential to have the power to be able to match her and maybe hit through her. So I might fool around a little bit with the over 19 and a half in that second semi tonight between Ash Barty and Maddie Keys.
Yeah, I like that look, and I haven't played Madison Keys yet. A lot of the price looks just about right to me. Like you said, Barty hasn't been broken. I think has been broken just once. I think all season. We know once for this tournament. But I mean, Madison Keys is doing something that is kind of above and beyond what we've seen from her, even for the last 2 years. Honestly, she is not just hitting the ball with power, but getting a lot of accuracy, getting herself in good space. Her footwork actually looks really good. So I like that look quite a bit. And yeah, I kind of quit after the first set there with Iga, decided to go to bed and wake up and see, for better or for worse, what happened. And I guess she worked it all out there. I can't tell with some of these players. She complained a little bit about maybe being a struggle against Kyrstad, and I was worried that maybe it would kind of fall apart there. But I wonder if that ends up being a rallying moment, honestly, for her.
It could be. I mean, the amazing thing was 11 double faults in the match. Like her serve was a complete mess for the entire first half and first set, and then a good part of the second set, and then finally in that tiebreak, she finally woke up. And then it was something weird, like I guess after she kind of threw the racket, she had to get a couple of rackets restrung to a different tension, and like they never made it back out. So it was kind of weird the whole racket deal. But you're right. I mean, the fact that she kind of got through that, you guys know, is a big favorite in a sport like that when you're expected to win over someone who had never been there. There was a lot of pressure on her, and she certainly played like it for a good part of the match. Even that the game where she was up 5-2 in the third and had an opportunity to close it out there and double faulted twice. It was just the background that she broke connecting on her serve to seal it out. But yeah, it should be a good night.
5-2 is a bit of a running joke with us for many years, Alex. Like it's like the 2-0 lead in hockey. Like only in WTA though. Men's it seems fine. In the WTA, there was so many instances, like somebody joked about it, and then it just happened a bunch. So it stuck with us. 5-2 was a dangerous lead, and we are now that now that Krejcikova's out, I can definitely cheer for Keys. Our guy Brinson, who I have no idea who told him to bet this, but he has a big old Keys future, so I'll cheer for him to at least get that one.
That's at least triple digits.
That's an easy one to hedge out of if she does upset Barty here, and then the other match should be really good. I'm excited to see it looks like. It's a 4 a.m. match, so it's probably a get up early kind of match, not a stay up late.
You know what the good thing is for me? I don't want to get you, but I'm going to Vegas basically this afternoon. Basically, as soon as we're done taping, kind of just getting ready in my afternoon flight for my NHC horse racing contest. So that'll be 1 a.m. Vegas. So that'll be right in the wheel. I'll land at 10:30 Vegas time. By the time I get to the hotel, 11:15, 11:30. So that'll be right in the wheel. I just stay up and watch that puppy.
Excellent nightcap. Want to run down to the sports book, find something silly. Yeah, they're still getting better at tennis in Vegas. It's a little more popular.
For sure. obviously an exciting weekend in tennis. We had a really end of the excitement. Drew just kind of nailed that when he talked about the football weekend last weekend. He said it's going to be just this gradual build up. He's like, as far as how he said this before the games, and he nailed that as far as how the game's excitement level would be, and they all ended up in walk-offs, which is something wild in itself. But I'm a lot more excited about the game with the bigger spread this weekend, because I think it could be a fun shootout if it turns out that way. I haven't bet either way yet. I'm tempted by, I think if you do bet the Bengals, I think there's probably some money line you'd want to be poking on there too, if they're just going to be this annoying team that's going to beat everyone with this offense that doesn't matter. Offensive line stinks. Who cares? We're just the times where Joe's upright, we're going to throw touchdowns. So whatever. But I haven't placed any bets. Do you have any action? Do you have any futures live yet, Chris?
Yeah, I do. I'm in a great position here. I fooled around with some of the Super Bowl matchup, name the finalist type deals, and I tossed Tennessee and I tossed Dallas, and I basically played a bunch, just kind of wheeling the 49ers with some teams, and wheeling like the Chiefs and Buffalo. So I got a Chiefs Rams at like plus 20 to 21 to 1 or something like that, and I got a Chiefs Niners at like plus 3,700. So I'm loving that. And then your T-shirt, solid plug. Is a big. When I was out there for the Pac-12 championship game, I went over there and played some of those cross-sport parlays with using Alabama and Georgia to win the college football title. Bunch of teams to win the Super Bowl, two of which are the 49ers and the Chiefs. So I'm rooting for both of those teams hard. So as long as one of those teams wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to be alive to 8 golfers in Augusta to win the Masters for a nice little score. So if the 49ers and Chiefs can win this on Sunday, that'll take a great sweat out of my life on what Sunday, February 13th, whoever the heck it is.
I'd love to see some of these tickets. We got to get some pictures of those. Those sound pretty fantastic. You got golfers attached to football teams.
Pulling them out of the drawer.
Just a summary of that would be great. The web that you just laid out. Well done.
Yeah, I thought you were going to stop at like Georgia and Chiefs.
Let's fold it up a little bit so I don't get my number on there. But we got a little. That's Morikawa, Georgia, and the Chiefs, right? That's one right there. That's a 5.
That's awesome.
Payout. We got Morikawa, we got Scheffler, we got Rahm. So we're in a pretty good shape here.
That's the one I'm curious about. What is the odds on the Rahm ticket?
Georgia, Rahm, and the Chiefs comes out to 100 and no.
I think anything big would be just
it's over. It's like 1,200 to 1.
If you can go into
it's early. I was up late. Let me make sure I'm doing my math right here. I want to make sure I'm not adding a zero.
Regardless,
130 to 1.
130 to 1. Yeah. If you can go into Augusta with the best golfer on the planet, essentially at like Luke List prices, like you got to be pretty happy.
And that's the great thing. I got Rahm, Morikawa, Finau, Spieth, Scheffler, Cam Smith, Cantlay.
Cantley's playing so well too.
Yeah. These are some great prop swap tickets, Andy.
Yeah. So we're I think the only guy I don't have that could potentially beat me is Shotley, but that doesn't mean I can't just put a nice flat bet on him. Come April if I am alive. And you know what the funny thing is, somehow whoever was punching the tickets punched the Chiefs Cam Smith Masters win twice, so that could be like if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and Cam Smith wins the Masters, that'll be an all time. I'll have to go back out to Circa and give put a little extra in the tip jar next time out.
Yeah, that's a bonus vacation. hit the trifecta on that. I had no idea this is where this was going to go. But I'm like, it got
fantastic.
the
Little did you know when you put the Circa T-shirt on this morning.
yeah, it got the blood going. I'm gonna have to. I used to do more fun parlays like that. I didn't think of that with the Natty and the Super Bowl. I like that when our friend. We have a friend who does a lot of DFS, but a lot of his golf outrights he'll do that with too, where he'll mix it with a football side he really likes or something along those lines, and all of a sudden you have the best golfer in the tournament who's chalk at like 6-1, and instead of 6-1 you have him at like 10-1 or 15-1, and just it makes it that much better if you can get a side in there too. Golf is tricky this week because it starts in like 20 minutes.
It does.
It starts. I mean, it did leave a little time for tinkering this morning with my DFS. I left one and done alone, but did you end up on any outrights for this one? I have a couple.
I didn't play any outright to win, just because it was hard. I thought about playing Max Homa to win, but I did play him top 10, top 20. Someone who, being a California native, just loves the West Coast swing. He won last year. Was it Riviera? Did he win? It was one of those events out there. But
I think you're right.
Yeah, T14 at Pebble, top 20s each of the last 2 years out there at Torrey. So he was someone I played top 10, top 20. I played Zalatoris top 10. He played great everyone remembers the Masters last year because he was runner up there, but he kind of put everyone on notice last year when he finished second to Patty Reed out here, and then not second, but seventh to Patty Reed, second to the Masters. Getting myself confused. 61 last week, different course, obviously, but someone who should play well here. Finau, another guy, top 10, top 20. Hasn't been out of the top 20 here since 2016. He was the runner-up to Patrick Reed last year, and then Rahm, top 10. I mean, he's won on this course twice, including his first major. 3 or 4 straight top 7 finishes in the event. I mean, it's not a sexy bet, but if it wins, it pays the same. So I didn't get too crazy. I don't know why, and you're right. I don't know if it was because the tournament's starting early, how great those NFL games were on Sunday. Like, I just couldn't get super fired up this week about really digging in and finding matchups. Like time just kind of snuck up on me, but I actually love what the PGA Tour did this week too. Like, why play Sunday? Like, no one's watching a California golf event at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon up against the AFC and the NFC championship games.
Yeah, that's the thing. It stinks because, and that same thing with me. I said, I'm gonna get some head to heads this next tournament. I'm really gonna start digging into golf, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, oh man, it starts on Wednesday. I don't have enough time for this. I got too much other stuff going on. I ended up with I took Homa top 20. I took Morikawa, Matsuyama. I found some 22, 23s. And then I ended up taking a little on Patrick Reed. I think there's a little bit of a maybe a cognitive bias. People, it's so hard to repeat. Like, it's not so hard to repeat. It's just so hard to win a golf tournament. Yeah. It's just hard to win any tournament. That's why it's so hard. It is so hard to repeat because it's hard to win any tournament. But just Patrick Reed at 50-1 kind of stuck out at me too. So I ended up on a couple. Didn't do any outrights. Well, it sucks. It's a pro-am next week, but I do like to play. I like to play a few at Pebble, so I will. I'll be betting pretty heavily next week. I think that's kind of the real start of golf for me.
That's like the it's so hard to beat a team 3 times in the NFL or the whatever. No, it's not. the numbers indicated. So that's like the lazy narrative crutch this week. Like, oh, watch out! Hard for the 49ers to beat the Rams three times in a year. Or what if they won 6 straight against them? So obviously it's not that hard. I mean, and I get the math probability. Like, it's hard to do, like, if you say it before the year, but the fact that they've already won the first 2, that increases the chances that they'll win again.
Yeah, people. I get what you're saying there too, and it's hard to win 3 games in a row in the NFL against any teams.
Yeah. Like
that's where that comes from. It has nothing to do with it's the same team. No, it's just hard to get wins in the NFL. It's hard to come out on top every week. So yeah, I throw that stuff out the window.
Where are you guys at with that game?
What's that?
Where are you guys at with that Rams-Niners game?
I think the Rams advance. I ran some numbers on this. I have it a very close game. I think the Rams move on more than likely, but if I had to bet a side, if there's a cheap 3.5, I probably would have to take the Niners. Their defense has played well. Just that offense, if it looks like it looked like against the Packers, they probably get blown out. So maybe the move is there to just take the Niners straight up, so you're not paying juice when they lose by 30.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like either in a sense, in a weird way, it kind of feels like Alabama, Georgia, college football wise. Like, yeah, Georgia just couldn't get over the hump, and then maybe finally in the biggest stakes game that they will have played, but it feels like to me either 49ers money line outright or lay the points with the Rams. But you talk about a great spot though for the Niners. Like, I mean, once they won, like you knew that they were either going to get like dead offensive line team walking in the Bucks, or basically a 50-50 crowd at worst at SoFi and be able to stay out west. So yeah, I'll probably wait and maybe not play the game. Maybe I'll play a little Rams money line. Maybe what actually we'll do is I'll head over to Circa tomorrow and play a little Rams with those golfers in some parlays. Being that I mean, the Bengals aren't going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, that way I'm insured to have action come first week of April.
Yeah, sounds like a perfect plan.
The other game, was that?
Well, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the other game. I don't know how you guys feel about that one either, but doesn't it remind you a little bit of what was it? Was 2018 or 2019? I forget. I think it might have been 19. The year that the Titans wound up beating the Patriots in that wild card game, and then they went to and pulled the upset over Baltimore in the divisional round, the number 1 seed, and then they went to Kansas City and got the doors blown off. It kind of feel a little bit like that maybe this week with the Bengals winning the first game against the Raiders with the goal line stand. Last week somehow beating the number 1 seed on the road despite allowing 11 sacks, and now you're going to Kansas City. I have this kind of feels like it might get away from the Bengals come second half.
Yeah, I think they can run a little better. Mixon should have a better day, but I don't think you have a big advantage in the passing game. Especially if you're gonna let the pass rush do what they did last week. Like, if you're gonna let a pass rush hit a guy that many times, you don't win that game very often. So if that doesn't improve greatly, and also just what the Titans did on offense, what the Chiefs have looked like the last couple weeks, I don't think you can expect that kind of output from the Chiefs offense. So you're gonna have to get into a track meet game and have fun with that. That's where the Chiefs live. So
yeah, it seems like whoever has the ball last wins that game, kind of thing. Maybe if it's just at the end of that. I know the Bengals. Burrow keeps getting hit over and over again, but if they can figure out some protection things to kind of help him out a little bit, it's still him and those 3 wide receivers. I mean, and they just keep throwing the ball even when they have a lead. That's my favorite part of the Bengals. Even when they're up, they just keep throwing. So I wonder if it ends up being a low-scoring game because everybody that keeps talking about it seems to be like there's going to be a ton of points. I keep trying to figure out how this game's going to be boring after all the talk all week of how it's going to be a shootout.
I'm with you. I'm going to wait, and it's already bet up to 54.5. I think I'm going to wait. You're probably going to get a 55 come game time. So I'll probably wait. And exactly, Alex. I'll probably wait, and I'll again. That's one of those like swallow, hold your nose. Like you're betting an under involving the Chiefs and Joe Burrow. I mean, good luck with that. But I agree. Maybe even Chiefs team total under could be a way to go if that offensive line continues to struggle. The way it has, or Bengals on team total under, not Chiefs.
I know I was looking for angles for that last week. I'm like, God, does this game just end up being a little bit of a struggle? And then halfway through the third quarter, like, I missed out. And then obviously in the fourth quarter, I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't bet that under because this would have been an electric way to watch that just completely melt away as they hit like 70 points. But I'm with you there. I think the total keeps ticking up. That might be an underlook. I just don't see the Bengals playing up to the level they've been. Although the poise from Joe Burrow is really, really something for somebody of his age. Today, before we let you go, it looks like Dan has a graphic I'm staring at here. Something we've bet with little success. I'm wondering how you've done at it.
I got my live over yesterday.
Yeah, I
Which
did.
one?
I did know Dan actually hit a Dan hits first goal scorer live after like the second red card, I think. Dan
The
ended up
Senegal
hitting
Sadio
Mane
Mane?
for first goal
Mane, yeah.
scorer.
Yeah,
He hit that. He had some free bets and he put that on him.
Yeah, I played on. I bought it up to 2.5, or actually, I got it. I got it at 2. I got it at 2. Played under 2 at the start of the game, and then at halftime, down. I apologize. We have a vacuum situation out there in the hallway right now, so I apologize for if you're hearing that. And then I played under 1.5 live as well, and got a little greedy. But and then it just goes to show you how hard it is to score goals in this event, because even 2 men down, 2-0 was the final, and I mean in the end it didn't work out too poorly. But yeah, I'm going to play the under in the second game, that Mali Equatorial Guinea game. Guinea has scored 1 goal, or each of their 3 games the tourney so far have produced a total of 1 goal. And I can see this being another one that neither team really wants to make a mistake and allow that decisive, crucial goal, which could knock your nation out of the tourney. So I'm going to play on. It's 1.5 is the actual total. You can buy it up to 2.5. I think it was like -$3 if you want to. Like, if it takes 3 to beat me here, I'm willing to lay a little bit more on the line and beat me at 3. So I took some at 1.5, and I took even more at 2.5, and then maybe if things get crazy, we'll be hitting the button for a good amount in that second half.
I like it. Unders have done well here, right? Do they continue to do well? I know that it kind of balanced out a little bit, but yeah,
it
under
did.
1.5.
It started out ridiculously well, and then those third group stage games got a little ridiculous. But the knockout round games have been a little bit different. You've had some quick whistles. The biggest thing to worry about, like you said, is there have been a ton of red cards in the knockout round, and anytime you get that, you got a team playing 11-on-9. That's a really bad situation. That's what you had yesterday. You had the stoppage time goal in the 3rd minute with 11-on-9, and teams just exhausted. So, but that's basically that's the only way these games are even going to come close to going over, is if you have teams down a man, just exhausted, and you're allowing goals late. So that's basically the handicap.
Yeah, and like even up. I mean, they were up a man a long part of the match, and they were up 2 men for like the last 30 minutes. I mean, it was 11-on-9 for a good chunk, and it's still like, if that's an EPL match, like that's 4-5-0. You know, it's like they're just gonna pepper them in. So it's wild how hard it is to score. And I'm just looking, Ivory Coast, Egypt right now, tied at halftime, 0-0. So hopefully we get a 0-0, and you can get yourself some profits. What is it, Mali and Equatorial Guinea?
Of course, why not, right?
Learning a lot about African geography this week is what we've been doing.
Good for you. See, betting is educational.
I think so. Well, enjoy your flight. Hopefully, I'm not sure if you have to leave while this is still on.
No.
Hopefully they have Wi-Fi.
My flight's not till 5 o'clock Eastern, but it's like I got some time to finish packing and break down the early part of the Gulfstream card and print my form and get ready to go. So no urgent rush, but
well planned.
I don't want. There was no need for me to book the super early flight today, being that the tournament isn't until Friday, and tomorrow there's kind of like a pre-tourney, so I'm going to play in that. So the tournaments don't really get going until tomorrow, so there's really no need for me to be out there until later tonight.
So. All right. Well, best of luck with everything, especially the horse handicapping this weekend. Hopefully you do well, and enjoy your travels, and appreciate you coming on again today.
I will. Hopefully we'll have a good story for you next week. Yeah, I'm sure we will. It'll be a crushing bad beat, nosed out at the wire, like $700,000, or I'll be maybe in a better mood. We'll see.
There we go. So, Chris Fallica, thanks a lot. We'll catch you next week.
I love it. Those are great. I'd love to see the drawer.
I'm still thinking about those golf tickets.
Right.
Oh, we didn't. Did you bet any basketball? So, just spoiler alert: Alex didn't bet any tennis. We kind of touched on tennis a little. I'm excited for all these semifinals. There's good matchups. It's fun.
Cheering
what's
hard for
your-
Iga.
Yeah, what's your? Well, cheer
If she
for
makes
Iga.
if she makes the final, then I think right now I'm going to be about break even if she loses this match from an outright perspective. If she makes the final, definitely a positive, and then I'll see what I can do there. At the end of the day, it'd be really great if Madison Keys won. So, go Maddie Keys instead of playing her. That's kind of what I'm cheering for, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're kind of already betting her because it would be greatly beneficial for her to win. If you follow
I do
me
have
on
an old
BetSperts-
DRC ticket too.
Oh yeah. Well, either way, then in that match, whatever happens, happens. Que sera, sera. If you follow me on BetSperts, I put in a couple plays for college hoops. I am not done today. I had meetings this morning. I didn't get a chance to get through the whole card. I have a lot of stuff that I'm still digging into, doing some diligence on a few plays before I pet them. 2 Eastern, I'd say. I have meetings after this. I have a couple other things to do, so I'm not going to be able to do it right after this. But for now, I have these 3. These were ones that popped out. These are going in. Charlotte over 132.5, Presbyterian under 132.5, and the Davidson Bobcats. That sounds right. -3.5. Dan pointed out that I bet on a ranked team today. I don't often bet on ranked teams.
Who's ranked?
Davidson, apparently.
Good for
Good for
them.
them. I don't look at the rankings. I don't know.
First time since a Curry, probably.
Yeah, I think they should be favored by 6. And in fact, they were earlier. Wildcats. There we go. They were favored. It's come in. A little VCU money came in, and I think I'm buying at the bottom here. Well, what about you tonight? I know there's a bunch of NBA, and I know you're involved already. Spoiler.
Yeah, it's a bunch of NBA. I've got 3 picks here. Again, just as really sloppy slate. Again, go back through. If you're someone that has a model and you had a schedule in for the beginning of the year, there's 3 games that are different. 1 game's gone. 2 games have changed. Make sure you go back and take a look and make sure you kind of update all that stuff again. It's been a little wonky, but just double check and make sure. A lot of basketball tonight. We'll take the over 211 here in the Clippers Magic game. This one's already starting to tick up. I'm seeing some 213s, 213.5. I'm drawing the line at 212, so hopefully it ticks back down. But I think we'll see just kind of a higher paced game here. The Clippers have been putting up more points, even without Paul George. The Magic sort of continue to get better. They're starting to gel a little bit. The Wagners and those teams kind of starting to find an identity a little bit. Again, it's just a game that I have at 215, almost 216 in my model. So we'll draw the line there at 212. The Denver Nuggets -120. Yes, I know they played last night, but they're going up against a Brooklyn Nets team who is home. That means no Kyrie Irving. We have no Kevin Durant for the next couple of weeks, again, with an injury there. They also played last night. I just think this is a great spot for Jokic and a Nuggets team that quietly continues to chug along. No Michael Porter Jr., no Jamal Murray. It doesn't matter. Jokic and friends continue to sort of win these games. I have them like 3-point favorites or so. So anything -125 or better, -1, -110 kind of thing. Look around. It's all different. When you get to that kind of pick 'em in the NBA, it's goofy. So look for a -1, -110, or like a money line -125 or better, something like that. And then Mavericks Blazers under 216. The Mavericks continue to play at just an incredibly slow, plodding pace. The Trailblazers, again, still seem to be getting kind of a bump up in the market from their performances over the last couple of weeks, the last week or so. I don't necessarily believe that that's kind of indicative of how they're going to play the rest of the way. This should be just a slow, tough, ugly game. The Blazers have been bad at home. They've been bad as underdogs at home. Thought about maybe taking a Blazers team total under here, but the Mavericks, even when they win, it's they're getting these games under 200 here. So anything 214 or higher is an under 216 right now. So 3 plays for the adults.
The grown-ups. And with that, we'll call it. It was a good long one. We got into some weird conversations with the Bear.
Arguably a top 5 moment with Fallica pulling the tickets out. I don't know
pulling tickets out of the drawer cracked me up so bad. And then user pick from the chat. Seth Livingston says Chris Paul double -114.
Ooh. Well,
I like a prop.
It's approved.
Hit the thumbs up if you're like me and like to bet props, or just hit the thumbs up for any other reason, and we'll catch you tomorrow.